Warner Brothers Discovery, we spoke about it here, how there was a merger that was possibly happening between Warner Brothers slash Discovery and
Mm-hmm.
Paramount Plus. And
Yep.
we spoke about the way that it was looking like it was happening and the fact that this would be a huge merger that could change the landscape of things. In addition to that, something I now know that I did not know then was Warner Brothers is one of the only streaming services who reported a profit off of streaming. It's only Warner Brothers slash Discovery and Netflix. They are the only two who made a profit last year off of streaming, according to a recent report from Forbes. And that is very interesting. What's more interesting is even though that's the case, the merger talks have stopped. According to Forbes, which they are kind of reposting basically in the article I read,
Mm-hmm.
they say, according to unnamed sources, unnamed sources told CSNBC that
Mm-hmm.
talks of the merger have stopped. There are no longer talks for a merger. And yes, Paramount is still looking to be acquired, is the word that's used. But there is no merger talk at the moment. Although this merger talk began in December, it has gone ice cold, the report says.
You think that this might seem a little off tangent, but do you think that the reason why Paramount was trying to sell BET is because they needed a bailout?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I'm just wondering,
I
given
mean,
what you just said, it's just making me wonder, like Paramount bleeding money? Like what's the situation over there?
I don't know. It's interesting
I,
because we know that they got offers from multiple billionaires and multiple financial groups for BET when it was up for sale,
Mhm.
but they didn't accept any of them, including a $302 million offer.
Well, yeah. I feel like those offers weren't technically offers. They were in talks, right? It wasn't an actual, I don't know.
No,
Because those
people were
conversations
actively
could have
putting in
went,
bids.
they were, but we also don't know what the terms of those offers were. Because you could offer someone a lot of money, but if the terms of the agreement don't align with what you're looking for, then you may want to turn away that money. It
Right,
also
and they
depends on
did.
how
So that's what I'm
desperate you
saying. I don't.
are.
Right. So I guess they're not that
So,
desperate if they turn down all of those offers.
I mean, sure, that's a
Well,
fair
they
point.
turned down offers from
Um,
Diddy before any legal problems were surfaced. They turned down offers from Tyler Perry,
mhm.
Byron Scott, I think his name is, right? That's his name?
Byron Allen.
Byron Allen. Sorry, Byron Scott is an NBA player. Uh, who else? There was a group that came together with Shaq. Remember, it was three people. Shaq,
Hmm.
can't remember who the three were. It was like five different offers that they turned down that we know of. So imagine
That we
what
know
we
of.
don't know. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like we're talking specifically about dollars and cents, and a deal doesn't boil down to just how much money are you willing to give me. So we don't
Yeah,
know why those
but that was your
offers,
question though. You asked, are they bleeding money? Are they looking for a bailout?
right? But and yes, I did say that because it is a question. Um, being that you said that they're still looking to be acquired, so I'm just wondering, well, what I wonder why they don't want the streaming service to continue as a standalone for them, and why they're so adamant about merging with someone, um, or combining their efforts with someone else's efforts. But in terms of those deals, I'm only saying that because I'm trying to make the point that yes, they turned down offers,
Mm-hmm.
but so it's to me it's two separate things. What I'm saying is yes, they turned down offers, but they could have turned down offers for other reasons. I'm just asking questions and trying to, because we don't know. But they could have very well, it could have not been about money, the reason they turned down the offers, is all I'm saying. It could have been about other things. Maybe there is a certain amount of control that the person offering that money wanted, or maybe they wanted, you know, a piece of something else in addition to just what was being offered. I don't know. There could be a lot of different reasons why those things happen. But to get back on task, I think the streaming thing right now is really interesting because it's not just them. I saw something the other day about Peacock. Peacock and Is it Peacock and Hulu? Peacock is trying to merge with another streaming service too. We talked about this recently too. Although I can't remember if we talked about this offline or if we talked about this on the pod. But we did talk about how, I think it was on the pod, about how, you know, the landscape of television is ever changing. So while people think that television, there was always this idea that TV was going to die, which is an inaccurate assessment of the state of television. It's not that TV is going to die, it's just going to change and evolve and move with the times, which is precisely, I think, what's happening right now. I think we're starting to see that, oh, it is Peacock and Paramount. I've got an intern
Okay.
here today. So I guess Paramount Plus is really shopping around. But I do think that it's interesting. Nonetheless, I think it's interesting that there's the streaming services are, trying to shore up their their businesses at this point. And it's really telling that you're saying that they all of them are not turning a profit.
Costs a lot of
They're,
money.
yeah, of course. Of course. And when they're giving all of us free trials and things for 6 months to a year, because remember when Disney Plus came out, I got a whole year for free. Granted, these were programs that went through some other companies, so I'm sure Verizon kicked them back something for giving it to us for free, right? But this explains why they're saying that password sharing is about to come to an end across the board. Um, we're in a moment where TV is making another pivot. So I just find it really interesting.
It seems that the streaming services are shelling out a lot of money and not bringing in a lot of profit. And yeah, that's going to happen when you have to continue to make all of this original content. It's one thing to say, hey,
Hmm.
everything we already did is just going to be available on this platform. But then you got
Hmm.
all this new stuff that you're recording, that you have to
Hmm.
produce and crank out money for, money to create the show, money to then keep it on the servers. And maintaining the back end of all that technology is not free either. So it
Right.
seems that these companies are shelling out a lot of money and not necessarily bringing in a ton of profit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely it. Um, Curious to see where Paramount Plus ends up.
Yeah, seem like they shopping around, or rather, they're trying to get sold really badly.
I mean, they're looking for a sugar daddy, as far as I'm concerned.
That's what it looks
That's
like.
what that's what it sounds like.
They need to holler at Cardi. You know what I'm saying? They need somebody to walk around in the bikini,
Yep.
keep the eyes on them.
Or maybe go to Miami and find a hoochie daddy instead.
I'm in
Who knows?
Miami looking for a
Looking
hoochie
for a hoochie
daddy.
daddy.
That's it. You know what I mean?
I So we'll see what happens with this. Because what happens to Paramount Plus? Does it just go away if no one buys them? Like,
I
so
don't know.
I mean,
If
Paramount
it may
Global is
be
a huge
smarter
company.
but it may be smarter for them to do like some of the other platforms and kind of just lease out their content as opposed to having a streaming service. Because even some of the companies that are part of the streaming services, you see their movies on other platforms.
Yeah, and I think they're already doing some of that. Um, I think they are. It's also weird because the production companies are like, TV and movie industries are so, everybody's in bed. Everybody's intertwined. You'll be watching ABC. A good example of this is actually The Bachelor. The Bachelor is produced by Fox. It's distributed by ABC.
Mm, interesting.
So, okay, not a good example anymore. But before Fox and Disney were together, that was happening.
Yeah.
So, not a good example now, but previously that's how it was when they were not attached.
No, I
Um
know what you're saying. Like
so
If you go on the Stars streaming app, a lot of the content is Sony specific. It's like Sony
mhm,
movies, like they got all the Spider-Man stuff or the Venom stuff. There's a lot of Sony stuff specifically on Stars. And that's what I'm saying. Perhaps it's smarter for Paramount to do something like that, where they say, all
yeah,
right, we're going to lease the bulk of our content to this platform, to this streaming platform. Maybe they don't need, maybe their analytics are showing that they do not need a streaming platform of their own. So maybe they're
yeah.
trying to either sell it off or close it out. And it may be smarter for them to close it out and lease that content and sign contracts with the other streaming platforms.
I actually also think that they put themselves at a disadvantage, and I don't know if this has anything. I'm sure there are legal ramifications to this, but they put themselves in a position where they had like all of these individual apps. Like there's a BT Plus app, and then there's an MTV app, and then there's this and there's that and then that. They've gotten better with consolidating the content, but I think that there's still content that only lives on the individual apps that you can't get on Paramount Plus, and I think you do yourself a disservice when you split everything up like that.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.